A demon possessed this guy while he was tripping.
Predator/U/Red Wendigo claims after eating some psychedelic mushrooms in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, he opened up a portal that allowed a demon to enter his mind and take over his body. He describes the possession as abrupt. This thing in my head took control of my body. I remember feeling a disjointed fascination at the sensation of my flexing muscles, the effect of gravity on my moving limbs, the way it felt to have the physical world wrapped around me and pressing in on me, as if I'd never noticed it before. As the mushrooms began to wear off, he began an automatic writing session, where he asked the demon what its name was. The only thing he wrote down was Mergelag.
Gert Brouwer scratched himself to ribbons during his possession.
After his girlfriend died in a car crash and his best friend was murdered, Gert Brouwer began to get the feeling he was cursed. He tried to put his horrible year behind him and move on, but a few weeks after moving into a new place, he felt like something demonic was on top of him. He came home and couldn't breathe. He was being taken over by a creature and couldn't do anything about it. Brouwer began to scratch his body up, and he even went to a psychiatrist, but no one could help. He started keeping two blogs, one called Me and the other He, where he wrote what he was thinking and what the demon was thinking. After dedicating himself to getting intense therapy, he was finally able to beat the demon.
This woman was followed by a demon for her entire life.
Following the death of her father, Andrea Rosaryand states a demon attached itself to her at the age of 11 and refused to let go for decades. She describes the demon as being physically abusive to her through a variety of means. Once, while she was dating someone, she says the demon infested her boyfriend's body and made him physically assault her. When Rosaryand finally relented and allowed the demon into her body, it almost killed her. The demon openly admitted to me that he was jealous and that the other man was only there to pay the bills. He presented himself to me as a god, and I believed that he was going to take care of me in this world. After she allowed the demon into her body, it made her sit around in bed all day. She would speak in a man's voice to anyone who tried to talk to her, and if she ever tried to go outside, the demon would strangle her until she passed out.
Latoya Ammons and her 3 children were possessed.
In one of the spookiest possession stories, Latoya Ammons claims she and her 3 children ages 7, 9, and 12 were all possessed in their Gert home in 2011. She claimed when she was possessed she spoke with a deep voice, and her eyes bulged out of her head. On top of that, Ammons said every time the demon took over her body she felt weak, lightheaded, and warm. She told the indie star, "You can tell it's different, something supernatural." After taking herself and the children to the hospital, one of her children allegedly walked up a hospital wall in full view of nurses and doctors.
This teen experienced time jumps after being possessed.
After a spooky Ouija session in Winnipeg, Canada, a teenage girl found herself possessed by 3 demons. She says everywhere she looked she could see orange auras. After she realized she'd been possessed, she requested a friend take her to the Springs Church where she could get some help. She remembers arriving at the church but not going inside. After blacking out, she remembers waking up and choking while in the church. There were more orange auras, and she kept losing time and choking until the demons finally let her go.
The incubus in the haunted house followed this woman home.
An anonymous woman alleges she inadvertently drew an incubus into her life. She was staying at a friend's house haunted by a ghost named Ramon, a soldier who died on the property during the French and Indian War. The woman and her friend had fun with Ramon, who she said was a sexy ghost. On the day she went home, her friend asked if she wanted to take him home. She said okay, and that's when the trouble started. She quickly realized Ramon was a demon and not a ghost. She claims she felt an eerie evil presence all around her and constantly had bad feelings. Despite having multiple priests come out to help,
she was possessed by the negative man.
Redditor/u/Apple Sunday believes she was possessed by something she refers to as the negative of a tall man who smiled at her. He had a green aura and was trying to take over her body completely. She claims the possession began with sleep paralysis and the shadowy figure watching over her, and then she began to experience intense bouts of anger. She slowly became angrier and angrier until she was having intense emotional outbursts and trying to physically fight her boyfriend. Everything came to a head one day while she and her boyfriend were driving home from the grocery store. On the drive home, I keep thinking there is something attached to me, but she couldn't talk. Instead, all she could hear was something saying, "You wanted to see me. So here I am. Look at me." She finally sought out help from her grandmother.
They were doing spellwork in a cemetery when a demon took over.
After casting a Wiccan circle in a cemetery on Halloween, Redditor/u/Chief of Feellike believes they were taken over by a demonic entity. After casting the circle, his partner fell over on a black mirror, crushing it and bringing on something truly spooky. While trying to close the circle, something got into them and almost took over their bodies. The best way to describe it is like something is invading your space. It's uncomfortable and it's almost like it's trying to shove you out of the way to make room. I literally felt like two different people, and the invader was trying to gain control. After howling in the circle for a few minutes, the entity passed and they were free. They closed the circle and didn't mess with it again.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care. Bye.